All right, today's video is maybe something of a history lesson, but also a little bit of a story and thought process that was in my mind. This has nothing to do with YouTube, Star Trek, retro gaming, or those topics that I have been talking about lately. But it's more, it's a little bit about, I don't know. Yeah, it's about racism, but not, I don't know how to start. So I'm an 80s kid, right? And in the 80s, to be exact, in 1991, there was a recycling system introduced in Germany. So previously, obviously, you put your trash into a trash can. But in 1991, they started to implement a couple of more things for recycling. So one of the things that we are nowadays used to, at least here in Germany, we have multiple different trash cans. Blue is for paper, brown is for biodegradable, black or dark gray is basically everything else, and yellow trash can is for recycling, so meaning like plastics, aluminum cans and stuff like that. You put that into the yellow recycling trash container. But in 1991, they introduced something that was a yellow, like, trash bag. In Germany, it's called Gelber Sack. And it's, if you translate it completely, it's yellow bag or trash bag, but not necessarily trash bag, but like a sack, yellow sack. And I saw that some of parts in Hamburg still, if you don't have the container, you can still use those yellow trash bags. And in Germany, in the lingo, or at least back then or still, you can use the term Sack. So sack or something, you can also use it in regards, in a little bit more derogative way. For example, old fart is like an old guy, right? And you use it in a derogatory way, in a dismissive way. You can in Germany say alter Sack. And in this case, it's yellow sack, right? Gelber Sack. So this is a really long introduction. And being an 80s kid, racism when I grew up was pretty much very common, especially towards Asians, because many Germans or many white people in that time frame, and I actually still notice this quite a lot, feel like when they use Asian stereotypes and racist remarks towards Asians, they consider it, oh, it's fun, right? It's pretty much, people are very used to or okay with doing that towards Asians, at least here in Germany. And it's always kind of scoffed away with the saying, oh, it's just fun. It's just a joke, right? I don't mean anything harm by it. Let's laugh together. But in reality, they are laughing at you and you're supposed to laugh with them, although you are the end of the joke, right? And back then, with the introduction of this yellow trash bag, and in Germany, the color designation, I don't know if it's in USA or in other countries as well, the color designation for Asians is yellow. And at least when I was around, I felt always like when someone said to me I was yellow, they always meant it in a very derogatory, offensive way, and not in a descriptive way, but rather, I don't consider my skin to be yellow. So maybe that's the reason why I felt offended by that. But people said like, oh, you look yellow, so that must be okay, right? So with the introduction of that yellow trash bag, some people around me, especially when I was younger, and I was the only Asian kid, basically, or one of the few. It wasn't even a handful of Asian kids in my grade when I was younger. We were only 2 or 3 or something. Whenever there was this yellow trash bag around, some kids were saying like, "Oh, look at that! That's some of your friends," or "There's another Asian," and I was, it kind of messes me up right now thinking about that. But that hurt me a lot when I was a kid. And it was also something along the lines, "Oh, you're a yellow sack, right? Or a yellow bag." Obviously, they didn't say yellow trash bag, but yellow bag towards me. And that was really hurtful. Being kind of put into the same space like a trash bag, that was something that was really hurtful. And I just thought about that because I saw a couple of those yellow trash bags around, and it just kind of refreshed my mind about that kind of memory. And it did hurt a lot back then. And again, it is something that this racism against or towards Asians is not as people don't find it that offensive. They are very easily to make jokes about an Asian accent, about their height, my eyes, stuff like that, right? And it's always kind of scoffed away with it's just a joke. It's not that bad. It's oh, you're good in math, right? That's something positive. And they say it like it is okay. And it's still something that is bothering me a lot sometimes. And I honestly don't know how to deal with that sometimes, because people feel so okay with doing this. And it is overwhelming sometimes to actually do a stand against that, because it feels like people are so okay with that. And I want to be very clear. It's not only Caucasians. It's not only white people. And I don't know how to better describe it, because it sounds maybe a little bit hypocritical to say I'm not okay with people calling me yellow, but I'm calling other people white. I understand that as hypocritical, but I felt like when I was younger, they used it in a not descriptive way, calling me yellow, but rather in a very attacking way. And I hope it is, you know what I mean? I'm using the term white because it's pretty much the majority of people in where I live, and I use it in a descriptive way. Where was I going? I think everyone feels like it is okay to use that kind of lingo. And where was I going? I totally forgot my train of thought. Anyway, it's just something that I kind of want to share. And I do know that some of my viewers are in Asia and are Asian. So you probably never kind of experienced that kind of racism, because you're obviously living in an Asian country. And I'm just sharing what I have been experiencing in Germany and still am sometimes. I don't know how it is with some of you Asians in USA or in other countries that are predominantly Caucasian. Let me know, what are your experiences? This is something, that it was just going through my head because I saw this yellow trash bag. And let me know, did you experience something? And I would actually do know, or like to know now I know where I was going. Sorry. I was about to say that this type of racism isn't only from Caucasians, but it's also from other person of colors. So that is actually something that was really hurtful, where a person of color is kind of complaining about racism, but then is racist against me, that is so weird. Anyways, so that was just a short little share of what I've been experiencing. To something positive, maybe check out my video about Star Trek Voyager, because there was a lot of how they kind of included different races in their series. Check it out up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. I see you in the next video. Thank you very much.